Just get started in a couple of seconds. Just wanted to welcome everyone to our first Teen Readiness chat. Definitely appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to join me. Hey, how you doing? I'm broadcasting live both on Instagram and Facebook Live. So if you see me look over back and forth, I'm not losing my mind. I'm big on getting people's attention. So we can get started right now. So, hey everyone, this is Eric B. Horn from Eric B. Horn Incorporated, and welcome to the first Teen Readiness chat. Since this is the first chat, I'm just going to give you a little background information on why I created this chat. Of course, it's to promote my upcoming book, but there's a background story behind it and a huge sense of motivation. And the motivation is not to sell as many books as possible. Don't get me wrong, that'll be nice, but there's a bigger purpose behind me putting this book out. Actually, I can just get started because I definitely want to make sure that I respect your guys' time. So just for anyone that doesn't know, on 4/10, I'm releasing my fifth book. Wow, book number 5, and it's called Readiness. The book is geared towards teenagers. So the majority of my books prior to this one is geared more towards college graduates, mid-level professionals, or anyone that's trying to gain a better sense of where they are in their career. But this book is specifically geared towards teenagers, and one of the goals is to give teenagers access to information that they could use, one that's not being taught in school. I mean, the reason why it's not being taught in school, I don't know why, but me personally, I don't see this type of information being put into a curriculum in any type of school system anytime soon. And I don't understand it, because this is probably the most empowering and powerful information that someone can have next to the basic reading and writing and arithmetic type skills. I mean, these are life skills, because once you graduate from college, most college graduates ask themselves what they're going to do next. So one of my biggest draws was I asked myself the question, what would happen if I can give teenagers the same information that I received in my late 20s that's revolutionized my life? What happens if I get that in their hands earlier, and what they can do with it, or how their lives can change in a positive direction? So one of the biggest goals is to make sure that teenagers learn these life skills, which are very, very important. Once again, they're not taught in school for what other reason, right? So empowering teenagers and taking this information from where they are in high school and applying that there, and then moving on to college, and then moving on to adulthood. I'm pretty sure if giving these teenagers access to this information as early as possible would be one of the best things that they could do to have a more fulfilling life. I'm not saying that if you don't have this information, you're not going to have a fulfilling life, but a lot of the life skills that I learned at a later date, if these teenagers can gain access to this information now, there's no telling where they'll go. So empowering teenagers is the main gist of this book. And it's not hard lessons. It's very simple lessons that anyone can pick up on. But the biggest piece is, after learning these lessons, how a teenager will enforce these lessons and also keep the lessons moving in the right direction, which isn't hard. I mean, it just takes a little dedication, a lot of commitment, and the biggest piece is understanding the reason why they're doing it, regardless of what they want to be in life. These life skills can help them put them on the right track. For example, this piece isn't even in the book, but I'm just going off the top of my head. Gaining a sense of responsibility. At the end of the day, as a teenager moving on to adulthood, if more people will take responsibility from their actions, or more importantly, their lack of actions, this world will be a better place, because everyone is quick to hold someone else accountable, or it's a parent's job to hold their child accountable. But what would the dynamics be from a parent to a child if the child knows how to hold themselves accountable and give them a sense of responsibility, right? Don't get me wrong. This book isn't to fast track someone's life, because between the ages of 13 and 19, those are your teenage years, and I was a teenager and I made mistakes, and just because you do make mistakes as a teenager doesn't necessarily mean that you aren't a good kid. Hopefully, this book will get in the hands of good kids, and it will help them become great kids, because being great is a whole nother level. Once again, I'm not perfect, so I'm still striving to be perfect. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm still striving to be great, but never to be perfect. But the best way that I gained understanding to be great is basically have a self-awareness and learn these life skills. And then also, for anyone that knows me personally, they know that I have a little girl, London, who's 4 going on 35, and 2 nieces. Actually, one of them became a teenager last year, and just having a conversation with her, she has a lot of questions about life, and have a lot of questions about what she can do to be great, so to speak. Now, I know that this isn't the normal type of conversation to have with a teenager. I still talk to her about other stuff that she's interested in, but I want to make sure, since I have this information on how to develop yourself professionally, how to take responsibilities, and other aspects and traits that I talk about in the book, it will be wrong for me not to at least sit her down and at least expose her to this information, right? And I think that's one of the main things that's troubling with our youth now. The source of information that they're getting it's not coming from a good space, right? A lot of teenagers nowadays get their information from the TV or internet or other Facebook statuses and things of that nature, which is okay because you want to entertain yourself, but I want to do everything in my power to make sure that my niece and my nieces and my daughter don't just think that what they see on TV is the only way for them to be successful, right? Not knocking any parents out there, because being a parent is a very hard job, but I know for a fact that these kids' minds, what they're exposed to is what they will, what they look at and what they see is what they'll emulate. And what a lot of these teenagers see nowadays, whether it's on TV and all these reality shows and things of that nature, this is what they want to be. Not saying that they're not good kids, but they're just going off of what they see. So hopefully this book will provide them with another aspect of information and the action. And let me say that again, the action that someone needs to take to have a successful life. I say all that to say another reason why I wrote the book was to talk about my story. Once again, I didn't gain access to information on I didn't gain access on life skill information until my late 20s. To be more specific, I was let go from my first corporate job, and falling down, so to speak, helped get me back up and expose me to information, for example, of taking full responsibility of your life. To be successful, you need to read any and everything that you can get your hands on, because the keys to being successful is through education, or more importantly, through self-education. So some of the books that you need to read books. I don't care if it's a Kindle or a physical book. How you want to become successful, anything that you want to become in life is in a book. And a lot of people just go straight to just saying, looking on the internet, or just looking on Instagram and things of that nature. I mean, that's one source based off of the individual that you're following. But teenagers need to read more and then watch less TV. That's one of the chapters in the book. Not taking away that you just can't watch TV at all, but teenagers consume a lot of TV, and a lot of it is TV that their parents don't even know that they're looking at, right? Which is scary within itself. Because my daughter, she loves YouTube, and I'll make sure that she's watching things that are suitable for her age, but at the same time, stuff that she can learn from. Not force feeding that, but just putting it in front of her and letting her absorb it. Because any smart individual, you can't get smart by just looking at videos all day. You're gonna have to read, you're gonna have to consume, you're gonna have to reflect, and this is one of the things that I talk about in the book. But based off of my story and me falling, so to speak, which I'm very grateful for happening, one of the things that I reflected with was, what would have happened if I had access to this information at an earlier age? Would my life, my professional life, my personal life, I wouldn't change it for anything, but my professional life, would it be different? Would it be a little bit better? I don't know, because I can't go back and turn back the hands of time. What I can do is do my best to try to get this type of information in the hands of younger people who are willing to absorb it, right? And lastly, the last thing I want to talk about pertaining to this chat would be, who's this chat for? Now, primarily, this chat is for teenagers who are interested in learning some skills that can help better them as a teenager as they move into adulthood. But as I think about it, this chat can also be for parents, because one of the things that I had to learn, I don't knock my mother and father for not teaching me this stuff, right? Because they may have not had access to this information. I mean, I love my mother and father, and they've helped raise me to become the man that I am. But, just because they didn't have access to this information doesn't make them bad parents. So I say that to say that this chat can also be for parents who would want to have a conversation with their teenage son or daughter surrounding the topics that we'll talk about. Because one of the key things that a good friend of mine said at a panel, one of the things that we want to start doing is starting the conversation, being in the room and having these discussions, even though that topic was more geared towards IT related stuff, but that can still be for this teen readiness chat. Because what you can do, and what I would employ parents to do, is to take the information that I talk about here and have that conversation with their child. That conversation could bring them closer. That conversation can open up new ideas. It can also gain a better understanding of their child, even though I know, who knows their child better than a parent. But based off of the stuff that we talk about today, based off of the stuff that we talk about during this chat, it can be used to have dinner conversations. I know for a fact that even though my daughter, since she's only 4, is too young to understand what I'm talking about, her main thing is Paw Patrol and Bubble Guppies and things of that nature. which I watch with her too, which is some good cartoons. But as she gets a little bit older, I can have these conversations with her and know if this is the stuff that she's interested in or not. Hopefully my wife and I can put this stuff in front of her and she will absorb that information, but I'm not going to force feed her. So, like I said, just to recap, because I'm not going to hold everyone. Like I said, one of the main reasons why I'm doing this is just to, give teens another source of information that can possibly help them through their teenage and their adult years. Once again, this is the main gist of this is to promote the book, but the deeper reasoning is to see how a teenager's life can change based off of the critical yet easy tips and strategies and things that they can learn and implement through their teenage years. And finally, like I said, this chat is not just for teenagers. Now, I hope the majority of the viewers, during this time together would be teenagers, so they can ask questions, and if they have any questions, comments, concerns, and things of that nature, hopefully I can provide them with some valuable information. But I will also employ parents of teenagers to also join the chat to hopefully the topic that I'll talk about during the week could be a great conversation starter, whether it be around the dinner table or while they're doing, but not while they're doing their homework, but after they do their homework, because you don't want to disturb them, right? But it can open up some dialogue between you and your teenage child that you can really have some conversations with some substance, especially if, and this is one of the things that really pushed me to the point to start doing this. A lot of parents are they're disconnected from their child, and it's no fault to the parent. I mean, it just happens. So hopefully this can be a bridge to start to reconnect with your teenage child while they are learning some life skills. And just because or also, now that I think about it, maybe this can be a situation where you and your teenage child can learn something together. One of the biggest ways to bond with people, whether it be a parent-child relationship, based off of what I'm experiencing with my little one, is learn something together, do something together where you can have that conversation and tell them where it can go. And when you do have these conversations, try to have it when there's no phones, no TV on, things of that nature. Just you and your child, where you can reconnect. So the time is 7:18 now. So like I said, I just want to give you guys a 50,000 overview of some of the overall reasoning why I'm starting this chat. But one of the things I want to do now is open this up to any of the viewers. If you had any questions, any comments, anything of that nature, please let me know. We still have a little time, so I can answer the questions. Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? I need a drink of water. Thank you. Oh, I have a tweet. When does the book come out? Okay, so I did. Well, okay, the book comes out April 10th, and based off of the pictures that people have seen on social media, they think that the book is going to be more of a just you open it up hardcover book, but this book is going to be more of a workbook than anything else. I'll also have lessons and topics in the book, but one of the main things that I wanted to do with this book is to be very, very engaging with any teenager that's reading the book. So it's going to be open-ended questions. It's going to be all types of activities, challenges, and things of that nature. So it's a process to learn these particular lessons, but anyone can learn anyone can learn this stuff, especially teenagers, right? So, and the process isn't easy, but it's necessary if you want to be a superstar in your respected life, so to speak. Once again, these are the principles that I'm still learning to this day. I mean, I haven't perfected these. I've been implementing these principles for about 10 years, and I'm still working on it. I mean, I still have failures. I still have successes, but the biggest thing is to continue to move forward. And I do ask myself on occasions, what if I would have gained access to this information earlier in my life? But I can't dwell on that. The best thing I can do is just move forward with the information that I have now. So just to recap, this chat will occur every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on both Facebook Live and Instagram Live. And one of the things I want to do just to keep the conversation going, I'm pretty sure that there will be people that have missed this live video, but they will see the recap. One of the biggest things that I love doing is keeping the conversation going online. And I think the best tool for that would be, we can do it on Facebook or Instagram, or maybe even Twitter. Whatever handle is best suited for you. I have accounts on all three, but I'll employ anyone that if you had a question or you just want to keep this conversation going, use the hashtag EBH Readiness. Once again, that is EBH Readiness. If you have a tweet or a question, I'll be more than happy to respond to you. So let's definitely keep this conversation going. But again, I didn't want to take too much of everyone's time because this is a Monday night and we're just getting over the wonderful weather that we just had for the last couple of days. So I wanted to let you guys go, but I want to say thank you, Facebook Live, and thank you, Instagram Live, for your time. So thank you guys, and have a good night. And see you next Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.